How the heck are you, everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to day 69. Welcome to day 69 on our grind for glory. Guys, we've got a fun one today. If you missed it, we pulled Zilitu yesterday, so I have her up and built now. I've tested her very, very minimally, but you can see it's a decent build, 61k BP. I'll show you the gear right now. We've got a Night Terror set, we got a Whirlwind set. This is one of the best pieces on my account. I don't have very good gear on my account. More on that in tomorrow's daily video. There you go, nice little crit rate build there. So all in all, it's solid, 17k on the attack. A solid interval there with a minus 0.9 seconds down to 1.7 seconds. Healthy amount of attack speed, obviously based on that interval. Very low crit damage, not good. Solid crit rate. Okay, rage regen, it is what it is, guys. This is the artifact we're gonna run on her. I put the Void Gazer that I had on Arrogance on her. We'll try that out. And then for Arrogance, I put him with the Flawless Blade. You're gonna see, we're gonna do some arena content right now and try to get these two siblings working together. So this has been shared with me by Seamus. You guys might remember him from my epic drop rate study. More on that coming at the beginning of next week, guys. We're finally gonna publish our findings. Pretty wacky stuff. If you go hear the stories though, you can see, I know it's somewhere, they are triplets. I should have found this beforehand, I'm so sorry. They're triplets, maybe it's an Arrogance's one, and I think one of them ate the other triplet. So let me try to find this really fast. Let's look for a Zilitu. There we go, guys. As with all demons, his origins are not entirely clear. Described as the younger brother of demons Zaltir, who the heck is Zaltir, and the succubus queen Zilitu, Arrogance was created at the dawn of the world when all was swirling chaos and destruction. As evil solidified in the maelstrom, as beings known as demons were worshipped by the early people of Taya, so on and so on. So pretty wacky. Even though he's a Nightmare faction, she's Infernal, they're both demons. They are 2 of 3 triplets. And maybe if you guys are interested, I'll dig up the lore on Zaltir, whatever's going on with Zaltir, but he's clearly not in the game. And according to Seamus, one of them ate him in the womb. So big tangent there, but pretty wacky stuff. I think it's pretty entertaining. Let's talk about arena. It is Sustained DPS, which is quite a nice arena to feature Zilitu in. So you can see if we go here, popular heroes, there's our boy Arrogance. There she is, number 5. So very popular here up in Overlord. I actually don't know if we're currently in Overlord. You can see we're right underneath. I'll be honest, when I was in Berlin, I was missing a lot of my arena battles. I don't even know how I've been doing. At one point, I was even just tanking battles just to get the couple medals. You can see our defense is getting beat up, but we've been getting our W's. Actually, 20% defense win percentage. I'm kind of happy with that. Here you can see some attacks. We've had a lot of wins. Let's see, when did we last lose on offense? There we go. We lost to this team down here, and then you can see I went right back in. I wasn't paying attention. I did an auto battle. I do like to do manual battles to make sure that I win. That really gives you the edge. So let me show you the team that we've been working with, and then we'll sub in Zilitu. So I did a quick test, obviously, but the team I normally am running is the Margarita Pizza, as I like to call it, the cheesiest of the cheese. Laurel is just so cheesy. I even skilled up her ultimate just to level 4 to make sure that I could get this minus 100. I will try to max skill this eventually. She is best used just plopping down and picking up right away, but there's a lot of good moments where you can actually keep Laurel down on the floor and get a little extra benefit of some more rage regen for her allies. But everybody knows, or if you don't know, everyone eventually finds out, Laurel is just cracked. She is a broken unit. Additionally, upon death, this talent unlocks, by the way, when you get her to 5 stars of promotion. Upon death, provides surrounding allies with a restoration of 50% of their rage cap. Upon death. Wow, that is very redundant. I never noticed that. Upon death, upon death. Basically, when she dies, or more conveniently, when you recall her from the battlefield, when you revoke her from her position on the battlefield, she's going to give everyone surrounding her 50% of their rage cap. It is, it's really good. It's really good for arena. You can get her, she's 13 costs. If you were able to get her to awaken level 3, I believe. I have her at 2 right now. It's another minus 1 cost, so she goes down to 12 costs. You can throw a rapidity set on her, get her down to 11 costs. What I've been doing for most content, and especially good in arena, is I've been using an invigoration set. You can kind of make sure that she gets 10% increased attack. There's certain ways to target the ally you want. From my testing, it seems it always goes on the ally with the highest attack in the range. So I was thinking, let's do a quick run with the team I've been using. Kind of just the classic team I use. Basically, anything that has any melee combat, I'm going to use Arrogance. Well, yes, I'll use Arrogance, but I'm going to use Wrath as my tank. Wrath at A5 is super, super busted. If you guys don't know, maybe you're new to the game. He's going to restore 30% of total damage dealt from his ultimate. It's a huge heal. Wrath has nice base stats, so he can really tank quite well, even up in Overlord, or I guess Platinum 3 where we are now. But of course, we'll finish in Overlord by the end of the weekend. Don't you guys worry. But yeah, Wrath, I'm using him with everything. Khamet is just broken good. I use him with everything. And then Dolores, I can show you guys now. Dolores is on every one of my teams now. So you can see here I run Ottoman Dolores. There you have Dolores. The teams are not that interesting. A couple people will change team to team, as you can see. But mostly, it's basically just like, if it's single target or sustained, you're going to use Wrath. Anything that, except for single target, basically, you're going to bring in Khamet, you being me in this case. But I do wish, I don't know, I'm losing my interest in Arena a bit, I'll be honest, as you can see by my missed battles. That all being said, let's finally get into a battle. You guys can see what I set up here. I do think I finally am very confident in my placements. I've tried out a lot of different placement strategies. The one you're going to see here is what I think is the best. So immediately you get your Wrath down here. I guess we'll do mini guide. Oop, I actually wanted to put him there, so I did it wrong. You'll see it when I do the next battle with Zilitu. I do like to put him one up, actually. So sorry about that, guys. We'll let this run. I don't like to place my Dolores yet. I want to place my Arrogance first. So what I'll do here is we'll place Arrogance right behind him. However, you can see the reason I think the better placement is to put Wrath one tile up to our right is then we have an extra space above, one for Zilitu, one for Arrogance. So with this comp, it will work fine, but once we take out Laurel and we replace her with Zilitu to try out our Zilitu in this fight, you'll see I've got to remember to place Arrogance one tile up to the right. So we'll let that go. Now Dolores is ready. I didn't even get to place her. We're a little low in Arena, as you guys can see right now. We're still not in Overlord. So this is going to be a pretty easy fight. I will say Sustained DPS takes a bit longer, it seems. There's less mobs to kill. So the fights really seem to drag. Maybe that's why I'm not enjoying Arena right now. You're going to see I'm going to hold off on Laurel. I want to get my Khamet down first. We can already trigger Dolores. What I like to do is leave an open space here so he's on the edge of Dolores, and this way we can put Laurel in between. Laurel's rage regen when you pick her up or when she dies will go on the 8 squares around her. So like up, down, right, left, and then the 4 diagonals. So it's not her actual attack range, right? Even in slow-mo, we won there. So we're going to beat these guys about a lot, so it will be a fast battle. That's 5 deaths we beat them by right there. And now you can see what I actually like to set up. And I actually lately have been using Laurel, so like actually using her ultimate. So we are going to point her to the left so she can help out Arrogance. Especially when I'm winning a fight like this, it just, why not? You know, why not get a little bit extra rage regen? I was doing a live stream for Gear Raid 120 last night, playing around with some stuff, and a little bit of extra rage regen, playing around with Laurel specifically, it does help. So you'll see what I'm going to do here that I like to do. I'm going to trigger Dolores. Now I trigger Laurel, so now she can immediately be helping. I'm probably, honestly, we're winning by so much, I probably will leave her down for the whole ult. Usually I pick her up around 30% left in the ult. Now we pick her up, and you can see we shoot up with the rage. So Khamet between her triggering the ult, and then we're picking her up and triggering the talent. He's almost ready to go again. I guess we can just wait for the last one. I triggered Dolores there. It really doesn't matter. This is turning into a blowout. I should have maybe pushed a bit higher, but I wanted to make sure I had full arena tokens. But yeah, we'll look for some harder battles because this wasn't the hardest one in the world. Sorry to this Russian guy. And one benefit of Laurel that you're going to see that's going to go away when we bring Zilitu, and now we can see the stats really quickly. You can see Arrogance really, really, really nice in this fight, even outperforming Khamet. Part of that is because the fight was so short. If it went on longer, Khamet would have had more opportunities to deal DPS. Lost my train of thought there. Let's just hop in. Oh, what I was going to say about BP, right? When I run my Laurel, right now she actually has some gear on, as you can see, because I was playing around with some stuff, like I said yesterday, in Gear Raid 1. But normally, she's got like I'm only just running this right side here, and usually these pieces aren't even leveled. I just leveled these to try to get a little bit of attack speed on her. See, we went for an attack speed build, but still super low BP. And typically we were going to run her with like under 20,000 BP. That helps like tank our BP, which makes the enemies we fight, or rather the enemies we fight and the enemies our opponent fights. You got to distinguish between the enemies and the opponent there, weaker, because that's how they calculate it based on the average BP between you and your opponent. So that helps us because we have some very strong DPS in Arrogance and in Khamet, and I think we're about to find out in Zilitu. However, our BP is going to go up a lot, as you're about to see, probably about 40k. So now we're at 314k, so pretty solid. Definitely in that Overlord amount of BP, even though I usually like to run under, as I was saying. So I'm not going to mess up my Arrogance placement. Let's try out. This should be a much harder team, guys, out of Turkey. As you can see there. Should be significantly more difficult, right? They're bringing a Silas, they're bringing a Salazar, they're bringing Valkyra, who's an absolute queen. We could totally lose this fight, but there's nothing wrong with losing. There's not, the event doesn't start till tomorrow. There's really, but if you know if you're confident you know what tier of arena you're gonna end up in at week settlement, but it's mostly just ego, I guess, unless you're gonna play super high. So I'd rather experiment with things and try things out for fun. Than, you know, care about getting every W, even though of course it is fun to win. I'm gonna do the same thing here, guys, and I'm going to place my Arrogance. What I'm gonna do with Arrogance, actually, if you guys remember, I put the Flawless Blade on. Yeah, look at this, Salazar, crazy. And they're running a healer comp, which is quite interesting. I think we still have a chance at the W here, but this is gonna be a nice little test for us, for sure. We'll place Dolores behind Arrogance. We'll get a similar reach. And what you can see here, guys, is because Arrogance is using the Flawless Blade, I'm putting him here, so he's going to eventually take less damage, because eventually when we put down Zilitu, she'll be above Arrogance, so he very likely will go long periods of time without taking any damage, depending on how the fight goes, I suppose. And if, you know, these are going to be harder enemies to face because our opponent and now us have higher BP, but that will allow him to get more and more damage building from that artifact. I'm still going to probably save Zilitu for last year. Let's trigger Dolores already. I do want to win this round. We probably, oh no, we did win it. And they actually, you know, what you can also do, guys, I didn't see they were doing such a poor job. That's also a big gripe I have with Arena, just to go on a very brief Arena tangent. You get so focused on your own setup and you have to zoom in so much and there's so much going on, it's very hard to divide your attention between watching what you're doing and watching what your enemy's doing. What I really should have done there is maybe not even trigger Dolores and not even put down Khamet. Let the fight go on longer, since they let 3 of the enemies, my opponent let 3 of the enemies get through, and let them get some direct DPS on the portal. That would speed the fight up a lot. But it is what it is. Let's go back and focus on Zilitu. So you can see here, guys, I did not need to put Khamet a bit to the right. The only reason I did is so he could just hit the enemy slightly earlier, but we don't need this open square anymore, obviously, for Laurel, since Laurel's not here. So here comes our Zilitu, and now you'll see what I'm saying. I don't think Arrogance will take any direct damage, or at least as long as we're controlling the fight well. Let's hold off there. Even if we lose this one, I'd rather have Khamet for the last one. It looks like we're going to win anyway. Great. Yeah, and also time when you use your ults, obviously. But yeah, so his ult, he's gonna, I think it's every 4 seconds his damage increases. Let me know if I'm wrong about the Flawless Blade there, guys. But that bodes very well for us. We should immediately clap these guys with these 3 simultaneous triggers. You can see they're still fighting a couple guys, and now we're just completely ready for the next wave. Oh, but they came back with it. This is a very nice team. I'm glad we're fighting a hard team. This is good. So we're gonna take a little bit more damage too, and look at that. We're almost tied now. We're only winning by, what is that, 9.5%? That's quite close, and they've got a big advantage, right? I just wasted 3 triggers of ultimates. So you gotta be careful, which I was not. Let's see. This is when we get the tankier enemies. They're doing a great job. They're definitely ahead of us right now. I'm gonna, yeah, wide trigger Dolores there. Let's try to save her for the last one. Let's see how big a hit this one is gonna be. Oh wow, that was like 17K, 17.5%, I mean, 17.5%. The second these guys get into range, we might as well trigger Dolores. But again, I don't have Khamet ready. This is where, guys, Laurel, she's cheesy, but she's great. Down goes Zilitu. These guys hit super hard. But also their guys have melted away as well. So Khamet and Wrath, if they can tank this, yeah, these guys are, I think my opponent's screwed here. As long as Wrath can hold on for a second, there we go. So they're gonna hit by four red orbs of these big boomers. Or is it 3? 4. That knocks him out, yeah. Okay, so we pulled it off. Not the most conventional fight, not the most conventional W. Let's try to find a more simple win, or simple opportunity for a win to demonstrate Zilitu a bit more. And then I was thinking, so we'll do that as the 3rd battle, and then as the 4th battle, maybe we'll just try to get Zilitu down earlier and see how much damage we can really get out of her. Because as you can see here, obviously she was our last deploy of the DPS. She was actually the last deploy of the whole team. So she was just out there less opportunities to put out damage, stuff like that. But here you can see Khamet, no dot damage to speak of, right? He's just a monster. He's the MVP. He's putting up, what is that, 3.7 million more than their Valeria. 3.2 more than their Salazar. I mean, these Salazar and Valeria, these are absolute beasts. Perhaps slightly better in single target than Sustained, but even still, Khamet is just so good if you use him well, and I'd like to think we are using him well. All right, let's take on at least 2 more fights. We'll use up most of our tokens, if not all of them. This could be a harder one. Hatsit's surprisingly very good. Maybe not surprisingly, Hatsit's good at everything, but she really is very good for sustained DPS. When her hits bounce around and she gets those decreased defenses, it's very strong. Her ult is very good. Obviously, it's a decently low cost. She can kind of insta ult if you place her right and you have her skilled up. This is gonna be a hard team, so let's take this team on again. It might not be the most conventional battle, but I want a challenge. I wouldn't mind losing. So let's hop in here. We'll do the same strategy now where we will do Zilitu last. But for the last battle, let's switch it up. Let's replace her with when we place Arrogance and see how that goes for us. So let's get our Wrath down. Now I'm getting the placements right. Let's wait for it. Let me know if you guys think I should do Dolores first. To me, I think it makes more sense to be patient and make sure you get your Arrogance or Zilitu or whomever you're using as a ranged fighter out. But I could definitely see the benefit of doing Dolores. From my experimenting, I'm just super anecdotal. It has been a bit smoother when I wait on Dolores, because the first round, it's like, you see, we beat them there by 1 or 2 orbs, and it's like nothing. It's like such a small percentage. I'd rather just be prepared for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and so on, those rounds. All right, so yeah, and now because we had placed Arrogance first, he triggered his ult, and we're gonna get some serious damage out of him. You know what we can do here? Let's place Zilitu before Khamet. Let's just try it out. Melting them away there. And I'll try to be a lot more careful in the timing of my ultimates to really do the best job. We're doing quite a nice job on this team right now, I will say. I wonder if their Valeria is not like fully geared. Maybe they're moving gear around or something. Or maybe they just, I don't know, whenever they recorded this fight, they were very conservative or patient or something with their ultimate timings. But Wrath might die. This is not good. I don't know what just happened there. So I'm assuming it's because Zilitu is not putting out the kind of damage Arrogance was putting out, and now our whole comp is falling apart. I spoke way too soon. That was very poor performance by us, because, yeah, these guys are not going to stay up. I mean, we can trigger Dolores here, but this is not going to go well, especially with these guys and their auras. Maybe we can hold on. Okay, we just held on. If somehow we can hold on for this, maybe Khamet can come help us out with that ult, and Arrogance stays up, or at least these guys don't sneak through. Not even the worst thing in the world that we lost there. Because if they had snuck through and this went on longer and they didn't beat us so quick, it would have, I mean, already our whole strategy is falling apart. We are going to take an L here, I think. Yeah, there's no way we can take on these guys. Zilitu is just going to get crushed. We can maybe point up and take a little bit of the aggro. Can she trigger real quick before she dies? Doesn't look like it. No, these guys are melting us now. Now they're up and running. Could not have been more wrong about their Valeria. They are doing an excellent job. They're just destroying us. And we do not have the heals or anything to really compete. Like, I think Zilitu maybe should hold on, but we're not going to get Arrogance out. The ults won't be ready. She's going to die now. Yeah, it's just, unless they get crushed and everyone gets through and somehow Wrath holds off, I just think this is over. Yeah, down goes Wrath. I guess they could beat, if they, no, it's at 70%. I was going to say, if somehow they get to the portal way before us. You can see these big towering white guys, they're crazy. We can just pick everything up in case there's some outside chance we're able to get some melee down, but this is going to be an L. But yeah, push your limits and then you learn stuff, because yeah, and that's another reason why Hatsit's so amazing here, right? If people do sneak through, if they only had a bit, they trigger the Hatsit ult triggers, right? And then she could take them out even though they're behind her, right? Because she's got that really unique range. Down we go. That is an absolute L. I almost want to run it back and see what if we hadn't placed Zilitu before Khamet. I think I'm going to do that. Maybe that's how we'll wrap it up, because not a strong performance. This is not per se Zilitu's fault, I guess. She doesn't have the best gear, and I would say what really makes it not her fault is my Zilitu is not skilled up. Let me actually show you guys, and that reminds me, I have one skill crystal waiting because I wanted to do it in the video. We're going a little long now, guys, though, so I'll try to tidy this thing up. I finally finished the Quarter of Glory. This was a real slog. This took a lot of time. So that's another skill crystal. I had 2 skill crystals saved. Maybe you remember I mentioned that in my video yesterday. And then I just got one earlier from Quarter of Glory, and I got a second one now. So we've put 3 crystals in. Now it will be 4. And obviously we've been putting dust in as well. I've been pretty unlucky. It's been hitting the ults the least. But you can see we're missing out on a lot of stuff. We're missing on 5 seconds of duration on this ult. It goes up to 35 seconds. That's part of the reason Zilitu is so cracked out. We're missing out on 80% damage, a lot of initial rage, and some of these amazing things here, an extra 3% damage per second on her charged attacks. We're missing out on 10% true damage when she launches those extra attacks. So Arrogance is fully skilled out, right? So he's obviously going to perform a lot better. As I get more and more skill crystals, she's obviously going to be my focus now because Guild Boss is my focus and she's so good. So there's soul siphoning, not to be confused with soul sniping from Silas, but a similar kind of idea in that there is some true damage component involved. I do wish these were landing on the ultimate, I'll be honest. We're probably going to be the same thing with our Khamet, where I'm going to have to go the full 14 skill ups or whatever it is, 15 to finally, how much is it actually? It's 4, 4, 4. It's 16. Wow, 16 skill ups. We have to go the full way with Khamet before I ever max out the ult. It's looking like it will be the same case with Zilitu. All right, let's hop in. I know I'm taking a little pivot here, and it's going to be a little bit less about Zilitu. I want to take this team on again and really try to tackle it the best way. I won't take out Zilitu for Laurel, even though I do think that would help. Guys, Laurel is just so freaking good. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say. If you don't have even if you have these amazing legendary heroes, if they're not all fully skilled out and ready to go and in your great gear, Autumn really lets you, Autumn does too, but Laurel really lets you get away with a lot of things. I'll say it that way. She's a very cheesy hero. Let's hop in here. I think likely we'll lose, but I do want to see if we really give it our ultimate focus and go for optimal placements, not fun placements, and changing our order if things will go a little bit better. Here we go. They go for the Dolores placement first. We are going to wait. That's what I think we should do. Our Arrogance does put out a lot of damage, so I really want him there, especially with his ult timed out for the second wave. Let's see how we do here. We should win it again, right? Yes, we did. Only by 1, though, so it's going to be an absolute tickle. No damage really to the portal, I bet. Let's see. Yeah, the same thing, 8.7%. Such a random number. I wish they were always like 5% or 10% or something you could easily count in your head as you're playing it. Our Wrath is taking a ton of damage. Let's get ready. Let's go. Let's trigger. Let's see. Again, we only win by 1 because I think they got that kill in the end. Let's see. Yeah, so it's again just going to be a tickle. We're only winning by 15.6%. It's really nothing, and we just wasted an ult. I think I'm probably going to have to go for the Khamet. You know what? I'm going to hold off on the Khamet trigger because maybe we can time it out with some Dolores. Yeah, if we lose here, again, we're not going to lose by much, so it should be okay. Looks like we'll lose by 1. We did. So let's see how that ties it up, or if it does tie it up. So 15.6. And there you go. So you can lose you can win the first 2 rounds, but then the 3rd round, all of a sudden you're taking a lot more damage. I think good that we saved Khamet there. I am going to save Zilitu for the wave after this, but we'll use Dolores now because Khamet will handle this wave exceptionally well. I think we should get the W here. Let's see. Oh, they're putting out crazy damage though. Let's get it. Oh, super, super close. We only win by 1 enemy. So again, just to tickle, they're probably still going to be... No, okay, so we're just winning. We're just winning by 12.1%. We did save that Zilitu ult, so let's trigger her. She should have some really nice single target on these guys, assuming she stays alive. Pretty good. I think they're going to win this round, though. It's close. No, we lose. But we're doing better. We're definitely doing better. Gonna have to wait on this Dolores timing. And also, we're in a tough spot here with Wrath, right? Here come the really big, white, scary guys. See how hard that last guy hit? Those early rounds, guys, really don't matter. They really don't. Like the damage you get from losing in the later rounds is far more significant. Looks like we have an outside shot here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No, we lost. This is such bogus. This is baloney. Let's see how hard. This guy's gonna hit for what, 30% or something? More maybe. Let's see. Okay, no, 20, low 20s. But I think too little too late. I mean, they did get their melees wiped, so if Wrath could hold on and delay, I mean, but again, no, we're losing by 46% or something. It's just not gonna happen. It's frustrating, it's frustrating. But Zilitu's almost ready to come back and maybe save the day. Let's see. Could she save it? Probably not, but they do have all these guys marching towards them. We could at least delay, right? Frustrating. I don't like the sustained DPS battle. This is boring. And like, look, we both are in the same thing. Down goes their Valeria like instantly. Looks like all right, they're gonna get some direct hits. They're gonna make it close, but I think It's not going to cut it for us. Yeah, let's see. We got 10 seconds on Wrath. It's going to get close to even at least by the time it goes down here. All right, actually, Wrath is right there. Maybe we're gonna. This is gonna be the lamest little win you've ever seen. Let's trigger Dolores. That didn't feel good. That didn't feel like a W. I mean, we avenged our defeat, but that wasn't fun. Do you guys think that was fun? I didn't find that to be fun. Maybe this whole video just turned into not a Zilitu spotlight or a Zilitu joking around, playing around kind of thing. Shout out to Khamet again. Khamet is crazy, but just like, what a boring, weird fight. I really think they need to give a long, hard look to Arena. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's some goofy stuff. Didn't feel good to lose, and it felt probably equally bad or nearly equally as bad there when we won. It just feels silly. Let's see, how close are we actually? All right, we'll do one more fight. This should be a W, right? Elwyn will be hard. Let's do a refresh. Let's try to get the W so we can finish this in Overlord. It's gonna be a much longer video. I thought it was gonna be like a 15-minute video, but let's just go for a dub. Let's just go for a dub here. And you know what? Just to really drive the point home, sorry guys, don't hate me because this is a Zilitu video. I'm just gonna show you how well it works with Autumn. Let's refresh our memories. Again, this is a weaker team. I keep saying Autumn, Laurel. She really is like so amazing for these battles. And I know we all get like seduced by the gold and getting legendary and getting OP heroes, but some of these epics, man, your Doloreses and your Laurels, like, oh my God. And they're such low cost, right? She's only 13 costs once you get her Awaken 3, which eventually we probably all will get if we all continue playing this game. It's just really easy to use, you know? There's a little L early on, but like we said, it's just gonna be a tickle, so we're gonna be at the 8% something, right? Yeah, there we go, 8.7%. I really don't mind. As we saw from the last time, it's really not about those first couple rounds, so that's definitely a pro tip we can think about here. And the fight really doesn't begin until Khamet touches the battlefield anyway, right? We'll hold off on the trigger there. I don't care if we lose this one again. Looks like we'll win it though. And look, we won by 3, so they're gonna take some proper damage. It'll be what, 15, 20% of damage? Wow, look, 20.7, pretty good. And now the real fight begins. Now we trigger our Dolores, and now we get ready to really line up a Laurel strat. Everyone comfortably in range. So everyone will get the benefit here. That's another reason to, even if you're not doing the thing like where I wanted to stack Arrogance and Zilitu, another reason to go for this is the optimal Wrath placement. Now you have everyone bunched up, so in those 8 surrounding tiles that square around Laurel, if you do use Laurel, everyone will benefit when we pick her up. But as you can see here, I'm trying to time it out perfectly so we can also get the benefit from her ult, which we will get. I will wait to trigger it until we've triggered Khamet, obviously. So now we trigger Khamet, now we trigger Laurel. Here's a good example of where I probably won't let it go the whole way. I'm sorry, I should have turned off my alert box. I'm not gonna trigger Dolores anyway, this should be handy. We'll save it for the last one. Everyone's locked and loaded now, and you can just see, now Dolores is ready to go. Wrath is already going, and that's all on the back of Laurel, right? So maybe this is all about Laurel. I don't know, I think she's so good for so many fights in Arena, but she's so good for this fight. But yeah, in general, these lower cost, lower rarity heroes, I really enjoy using them. I mean, look at that. Before a Khamet could even trigger, there's W. This should be a pretty big hit. Probably not enough. Let's see. I thought maybe it was going to do things. Sometimes, if things line up well, I don't know how many enemies it has to be, but sometimes they will be left with 0.2%. Maybe you guys have experienced it. That is beyond infuriating. That's like, okay, now you have to do that fight for 20 or 30 more seconds. It's so annoying. We'll do a quick trigger here just to make sure everyone's ready for this last round of mobs. I mean, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Look how slow they walk. This sustained DPS is like, how much of your time can the game waste? This video is going to come up on 30 minutes, right? And only 5 battles. Maybe I talked slightly too long at the beginning, but it's largely because these fights take way too long. There you go, guys. Laurel is really, really good. Zilitu is obviously really, really good too. I'm not trying to bash her at all. I'm very happy that I got her. I think the #1 place she's going to sign is Guild Boss, but she's good anywhere, and she's still very, very usable, very good in Arena. But you can see the difference between her and Arrogance, right? And I really think that really comes down to skill crystals and how important skill ups are. Look at that, Khamet doing really well. Arrogance doing some of God's work as well. Pretty cool stuff. There we go, we're in Overlord. So back to legitness. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't even know what this video became. I've been Fastidious. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.